Hello, I'm Albert from Third Opposition, and I will explanation why ban smoking is not good. And okay, inclusion through permit can only successful if the society and the individual himself who want to change the value and imposition towards society change their value will only going create major unsustainability in the future like the currently happen in Iraq, Afghanistan at the moment, and the similar unsustainability of the proposal will be also happening in the government purse for the society to stop smoking by threatening them to jail punishment and the classes and fundamental the separate classes of the argument ongoing analysis from this debate today. Whether or not retributive and rehabilitative approach is disprovable to endorse and value replace the previous value, whether or not the government should uphold a rational education interfering when the society scraps their basic right, or so government super irrational education by deciding to just behind of the grand society choose to sacrifice their basic rights, and three, which model proposal the world in line of proposal the possible democratic country whether a standard human right provision to show universal ensuring generation and the equal treatment of value facilitation to the all level of society, or should standard human right protection erotic each individual providing different treatment of accommodation to each diverse society. Now let's analyze purpose Christ and whether or not the attributed. We say no just because government as authority has no power to regulate law is thus necessarily mean the government has the legitimacy to impose society transport they value attractively categories to the society value as legitimate, even criminal value deserve to get punishment to the jail even needed rehabilitated by dogmatizing the society whom are located in the prison believe their previous value is wrong and the value that's currently being imposed and regulated by the government is the right value be accepted. This is ridiculously wrong and the tyranny at so many levels. Pinya to show the grief toward the death of the families they still choose still have traditional life even though they have already know about modern life, modern value from the small village named tribe, despite the fact they are already get Indonesia but no modern value, but they still choose the traditional value cutting danger even though not is hurt the same is other responsibility believe they are willing to sacrifice their basic right have a complete danger because they above from value even if they have to lose their opinion is the most beautiful thing in the world that can make them feel definition happiness. The move the second class under the logic to of affirmative what the smoker are doing as just from harming or violation their basic right. We shall not agree because under the model of proposal the activity is that is done by the smoker the act of respecting the value that believe it and the respect this value. They even willing to sacrifice their own basic human right as reminded the value was respected by the smokers. The value which said its definition of welfare and happiness is determined when they are able to perform the activity of the cigarette consumption, even if they realize that with certain the span of the daylight from them to be able to feel in the daylight with something that they believe in the more precious, even if will make their life a shorter. This is psychological benefit. That's our model of proposal like absolute. Thus the question shall not about which one of them import either rational or irrational the question, but the question shall be about what shall decide on which one is more important, the government or the society. As the opposition side of the House, we strongly believe is that solely the right of society to decide on which one more important and not the government. Move the third class. Unity in diversity has been amazingly become a primary slogan democratic country in the world. And under the model of the affirmative team proposal, we can see how government will likely the failed affirmative team proposal were implemented by the government. Will likely fail in the affirmative team proposal were to be implemented by the government to make perspective clear. Let's take some country in the world. Let's see this country in the different perspective and value how consider the human right countries shall be protected. Since the first place, the affirmative team started the discussion throwing the proposal about retributive punishment, and then let's see that even when this about retributive implies punishment, the implementation will differ from one country to another. Let's see process death penalty is some different country. In Malaysia, is death penalty implemented by hanging the neck of the convict the dead, but in Indonesia, the death penalty is commenced by shooting in the convict on their chest. The death is the different case in America, which death penalty is conducted by injected by convict with lethal poison. The penalty with this method execution is called euthanasia. Meanwhile, in Saudi Arabia, the death penalty process is done by cutting off head of the convict in the hundred of people from the Moscow after Friday prayer and Somalia by they execute you throwing dozens of big stones you have until you die. If the Amazon try, they will execute you by eating you meat little by little until you die.